for my first booktube video because I thought it would be so fun to go through like my top 10 reads of this year, because I feel like that will give you kind of a good idea of who I am by the books I read this year and really loved. So these are not going to be in any particular order. It's just going to be the top 10 reads of my 2018. I was going to do like top 18, but like that's just too extra, and 10 is a more well-rounded number, I feel like. So like, let's get into it. First book, it's actually a graphic novel because I've been wanting to get more into graphic novels. I'm just excited to continue on with this series, and that is Oblivion Song. This is written by Robert Kirkman and like 2 other people, but if you don't know, Robert Kirkman is the creator of Walking Dead, which I used to be super obsessed with. I haven't seen it in a long time, but love it. I don't even know how to explain this. Basically, something happened in this world where it kind of split and created 2 different two different universes. One that has these like alien-esque creatures. It's crazy. It's just literally crazy. And the art is, I just love the colors. Like, it's just such a cool toned color palette, and I really am drawn to that. I loved this. It was so good. Recommend. Read it. Ooh! I need to stop hitting my books. Okay, this next book I just loved. War Storm by Victoria Aveyard. I literally have a love-hate relationship with this book. I felt like for it to be this big, the ending was super rushed and I wanted more from the ending, but I still loved it because it's just these characters and the story I felt like I was very invested in, and so I wanted to know how it was going to end. And just for that, it's like one of my favorite books I ever read. Throughout it, we learn a lot about Maeve, who is like one of the main characters, and it was so cool to me to finally get to hear from his perspective, and just the way things like came together was beautiful. It was crazy. This next book, literally so many people love. I'm not the first to say this. This isn't controversial. This isn't new. In fact, you probably love this book. If you don't, you should. And that is We Are the Ants by David Sean Hutchinson. This book is so cute. I read this on a plane ride to LA, so like 3 hours. I just finished it. It was so good. Like that, like the rawness of being human was captured so well in this book. It was just beautiful, and I feel like everyone needs to read this book. Like, just read it. I read this book at the beginning of the year, and let me tell you, I was a mess. I was bawling by the end of it because of what inevitably happens. It's literally in the title, and there's like no 2 ways about it because it's gonna happen, and you just don't want it to happen. And that is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I don't even have words for this. This was just so cute. It's like heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Okay, this next book I did not expect to love because I got it on Book Outlet for like $1, and I was like, oh, it's just gonna be a cute little read, whatever. I was not even like too into the plot because it's basically, here's the rundown.
So I'm like, oh, $1 book? Okay, put that in my cart. Then I'm like, well, what's it about?
It's about this girl whose brother and her boyfriend, they're both in the Navy, and it starts with one of them being dead, right? Yeah. So that's how you start. One of them's dead. She doesn't know which one it is. You don't know which one it is. And then you are propelled into the past, where you are made to love both of them because one of them is dead. And so it's depressing. I haven't even said the title of the book yet. It's Come Back to Me by Mila Gray. Amazing. I loved it. And now I'm actually wondering, is there a genre, Navy, Army, military books? Like, is that a genre? Let me know. I'm not interested, but I'm curious. This next book, I did not think that I was even gonna like it. I've had this book since before I've owned any of the other books in the series because it's signed. it's not even about the main storyline. I feel like it's not important. It's kind of just a novella. Boy howdy was I wrong. This is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. This is my favorite book in the series. This is one of the best books I've read this year. It had me feeling every type of emotion all the time. Kale Westfall.
Homeboys gonna get it.
I don't even have articulate words to say for this book because it was so good. I feel like maybe because it just focused on Kale and Nesrin and then the people they meet, and it was one book dedicated to one plot line, whereas every other book is one book dedicated to 7 plot lines that dwindles down into one. The pacing is kind of weird in the other books. I mean, I still love them, but the pacing, yeah, it's kind of weird. This has turned into a critiquing of the Throne of Glass series, which is not supposed to be. Never mind. Just know that I loved this book. I was crying. I loved it. This next book is actually really random, and I didn't think I would even really love this book because I had no idea what it was about. I just bought it once because it was sitting there and it looked nice, and I was like, hey, I'll buy you. And that is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I just no, I butchered that. I can't help but cringe. This cover is beautiful. This book, I just read it in one night, and I feel like it was so uplifting and optimistic and cute, and really it just has a lot of value, I feel. Go ahead and read it. It's a quick read and it's interesting and fun. It just has some good quotes. It's a pretty quippy book. Probably one of the only books on this pile that has any literary merit. Period. Oh my god, this book was so amazing. It was the ending to a series that I needed. This is the best ending to any series I've ever read. Empire of Storms, found dead in a ditch. Because Obsidio is here. This is by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. It's one of my favorite books this year just because the characters are amazing and funny and I love them. The storyline is intense and action-packed and it's full of surprises. What's going on? I don't know. I thought I knew, but I don't ever. And it's set in space, and I love space. And this has made me think maybe I could be an astronaut. There's no evidence pointing to that, but I think I could be an astronaut because I've read this. This book was so good. Just read this trilogy. It's one of the best trilogies ever. No one's doing it like this. This, unheard of. Every other sci-fi book is quaking. Okay, this last book is by one of my favorite authors. If you look in the distance, you can see that shelf. Maybe you can make a guess about who one of my favorite authors is. This book came out. I was like, I'm excited for this. A little illustrated number. I'm excited. What's it gonna be? I wanna know. And then I heard it's a Moby Dick retelling, and I was like, I'm not a fan of Moby Dick. No, I am not. But I'm a fan of Patrick Ness. So this book is And the Ocean Was Our Sky by Patrick Ness. The art in this book is amazing, 100%. It's stunning. I could just you can see the detail in it. Brush, the strokes, the everything is so insane. It just feels alive almost. And the quality of this book is really nice too. I love the pages. But the story was so engaging and so, I feel reflective of the political climate of today. And that's all I have to say about that. Because this was just an amazing book that I did not expect to love as much as I do. Patrick Ness, I should have known. Usually people hold up their stack of books, but these chicken arms can't do it. They're not even gonna pretend that they can. So this is my stack of my top 10 favorite reads of this year. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gives you a good idea of what kind of reader I am, maybe what kind of person I am. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more videos. I have some like reading vlogs. I have one finished that's gonna go up after this. Just subscribe if you want to see more videos. I love books. If you want to talk about books, I'll link my stuff down below. It'll be fun. Yeah, that's it. That's the video. Thank you for watching. That's it. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Why do I always... I'm not Richard Nixon.